Right now, the conflict involving the United States, Israel, and Iran is doing more than reshaping military dynamics in the Middle East. It is beginning to shake one of the most important pillars of global finance, the petrodollar system. For over 50 years, the petrodollar has supported American economic dominance. Since the 1970s, most global oil trade has been conducted in US dollars. This system was built on a simple exchange, US security guarantees, in return for oil being priced and sold in dollars. That forced countries worldwide to hold dollars, creating constant demand and allowing the United States to borrow cheaply. But today, that system is starting to crack. First, the United States began using the dollar as a weapon, imposing sanctions and restricting access to the global financial system. That pushed many countries to look for alternatives. Now, with rising geopolitical tensions and war, the pressure on the system is increasing even more. Iran is at the center of this shift. Using its strategic location, Iran is influencing key global energy routes like the Strait of Hormuz. It has already signaled that in case of conflict, it could restrict access to these critical choke points. And now, there are signs that some oil shipments are being settled in Chinese yuan instead of US dollars. This may seem like a small change, but it signals something much bigger. If oil, the world's most important commodity, starts trading outside the dollar system, even in limited amounts, it opens the door to an entirely new financial structure. What some analysts are now calling the early stages of a Petroyuan system. Major financial institutions are beginning to take this possibility seriously. Because the petrodollar system depends on trust. Specifically, trust in US security guarantees. If the United States can no longer fully secure key regions like the Persian Gulf or protect critical shipping routes, then the foundation of dollar-based oil trade weakens. At the same time, China appears to be preparing for this shift. It has built massive oil reserves and diversified its energy imports to reduce risk. Even during the conflict, oil trade between Iran and China has continued, often using yuan-based arrangements. This creates a parallel system that bypasses the dollar entirely. Iran is also working on alternative export routes, reducing its reliance on traditional choke points. These efforts may be slower and less efficient, but they represent something important: independence from the existing system. Here's the paradox. In the short term, the US dollar is actually getting stronger. During global crises, investors still see it as a safe haven. Rising oil prices also increase demand for dollars. But underneath that surface strength, structural cracks are forming. Globally, countries are slowly reducing their dependence on the dollar. Central banks are diversifying reserves. Some nations are increasing gold holdings. Others are exploring alternative currencies for trade. This is not happening overnight, but the trend is clear. The global financial system is evolving, and the big question is this: can the United States restore confidence and maintain the petrodollar system? Because if it cannot, then what we are witnessing right now may not just be a geopolitical conflict, but the beginning of a much larger shift in global power. The potential decline of the petrodollar could mark a turning point, not just for the US economy, but for the entire global order. And that shift may already be underway.